heart beat here.
And at that point, if I feel they can handle it, I'll have them learn the chorus one time, and then we'll start again.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. I'll invite you just to find some prayer books if you haven't yet as you've come in. And I'll just say about our Siddur, for those of you who this might be your first time with us, you'll see that we'll cue pages, and that if you're ever a little bit lost in the service, you'll see that there's the Hebrew on one side, there's transliteration, there's also a translation that's there, but also there's beautiful poetry throughout this incredible prayer books. So feel free also just to peruse that while we're praying together. And we're so happy that you're here tonight. And I think we have a little song to start us off.
You know I do. Now, this isn't the typical.
Oh, Sandra, I love that we did this little dance with that candle. I actually had gotten rid of it because I said, you know what, matches might be good enough.
Is that so? And I thought that I was doing everything right by putting it back.
You were, of course you were. both and. We're going to do the helper candle tonight.
So you're not going to have these words in front of you, but I'm going to help you learn the chorus. And you're not imagining things. It is a dashboard confessional song. And I apologize. Or you're welcome.
Or both.
Come on home and let yourself heal. You could sleep for 1,000 years. I won't let you disappear. Let your heart be here.
You've been running far and wide, doing what you hope is right, chasing what you feel inside. I will take your path as mine.
I feel it in my ribs. I feel it in my soul.
The pulse just grows so loud and so clear. Let your heart beat here. Oh, let your heart beat here.
So try this. It goes like this. I feel it in my ribs. I feel it in my soul. Just try that. I feel it in my ribs.
I feel it in my soul.
The pulse
Just grows
so loud and
so clear. Let your heart beat here.
Oh, let
your heart beat here.
So come on home and let yourself heal. You could sleep for 1,000 years. I won't let you disappear. Let your heart beat here.
You've been running far and wide, doing what you hope is right, chasing what you feel inside. I will take your path as mine.
I
Feel it in my ribs. I feel it in my soul. The pulse just grows so loud and so clear. Let your heart beat here.
Oh,
Let your heart beat here.
let
Your heart beat here.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. We're here on this Shabbat, almost a week after Colleyville, when 4 Jews narrowly escaped someone who took them hostage at their Shabbat prayer. And I'll say that as we gather this week, we do what we were taught from this week's Torah portion. When the Jews gathered around the foot of Sinai, when they were receiving the 10 Commandments and so much more, before they even had a chance to do anything else, they said, Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do and we will hear, or probably more accurately, we will do and we will understand. That sometimes we have to take action in order to understand better what it is to be human beings, what it is to live Jewish values, what it is to live in a precarious world, and yet know that we are not unmoored. There is something that grounds us, and there's something that gives us light. That's the values of our Torah, the values of our community. It's being able to continue to do what makes us Jewish, and to do so with compassion and strength and courage as our guide. And so this week we are living that. We are doing what it is to be Jewish. We are gathering on Shabbat. We're welcoming our fifth graders to be able to join us in prayer from home. We are able to invite Benot Mitzvah to the Bima in just a moment to lead us in our prayers as we open up this Shabbat service. For bring a new Jew into the covenant with his Hebrew name. We are together as a community, grounded with compassion and love. And so on this Shabbat, we are grateful to symbolically show how we welcome each other into this world with light on this Shabbat by lighting Shabbat candles. And Dominique, thank you so much. This is going to give us a little bit more of our community in just a moment. Thank you, thank you. And so in that way, then we'll be able to see some of our friends joining us on Zoom. So we realize that we're one community, no matter where we're accessing this way of Shabbat. And so to our friends who are joining us from home, welcome, Shabbat Shalom. And to those of us who are here in person, Shabbat Shalom. Why don't you just take a moment too, before we symbolically welcome in Shabbat with light with our candles, why don't you just spread a little light by saying Shabbat Shalom around this room? And make sure on Zoom to wish each other Shabbat Shalom in the chat. Sophia, I know that you're saying, are you really going to postpone this any longer? I just want to hurry up and be able to come up on this bima. So Sophia, please, it is wonderful to invite you, Sophia Schwartz, along with your parents, Marta and Jeremy. Please join us on this bima. And also Pendo family, please, Naomi, will you join us on this bima? And you can also bring not only your parents, Kimberly and Tal, but also your big brother, Noah. Noah, how wonderful to have you back on this bima. It's wonderful to see all of you, and you can come right up here where we're going to light the candles together. The blessing for the lighting of the candles can be found on page 120. What a joyful way to welcome in Shabbat with the lighting of the candles and hearing the children playing in this sanctuary. That is a beautiful way to welcome in this Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Parents and Noah, you can go sit down. And Sophia and Naomi, if you would join us here to lead us in the Kiddush. Mazel tov to your wonderful families. We're so excited for tomorrow. We can find the blessing of the Kiddush on page 123. And we now, either only in spirit or in body in spirit, but the best way to do this is let your spirits rise as we then welcome in this Shabbat with the Kiddush. So please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kosho, v'ahava uratzon, Inchilanu, Zikaron lema'aseh Bereshit, Ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh, Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, Ki banu v'acharta, Ve'otanu kidasha, Mikol ha'amim, Ve'shabbat kodecha, Ve'ahava uratzon, Kinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
So Sophia and Naomi, as you go back down to your seats, I just want to say that you not only bring so much light and beauty into this community by welcoming Shabbat in that way with your voices, but also I know that there is family that is tuning in from Spain and also from Israel and will be with us on this Shabbat. And so I just want to say thank you for making this one global family that's welcoming in Shabbat, being able to see how much hope we have, not only in our future, but right now in our present. Thank you for your leadership and thank you for leading us so beautifully. Everyone can sit back down unless you are the parents of Ari Gerald Klein. Or if you are Ari Gerald Klein yourself, I would love for you to come to the Bima now. You're right, Chloe, I did promise you. I promised you could come up now too, so please. This is very important. Cousins, of course, are always welcome. If your mom wants to come up too, that is absolutely wonderful, especially now that we have candles and water and glasses up here. And so, no, this is so wonderful. I mean, just, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe she was going for the wine. So I'll invite you to come all the way up here. And you can just stand right here. What a beautiful thing to be able to welcome you and this beautiful child to this Bima. Ari, it is wonderful to see you here. Now, I will say, Ari, I'm going to give you your Hebrew name in just a moment. I want to tell you that your Hebrew name is so very special. So let me say it in Hebrew, this blessing that you have as you receive your name. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, kayemet hayeled hazel aviv ul ima, v'karei shemo b'Yisrael, Ariel Yidel, ben Meir Herschel u'Miriam Hana. Yismach ha'av v'yotzei chalatza v'tagel imo b'fri bitna, zeh hakaton gadol yehieh, kishem shenichnas labrit, ken yikanes l'Torah u'chuppah u'ma'asim tovim. So Ari, we say, our God and God of our parents, sustain this child through his parents' loving care. Let him be known among our people Israel by the name Ariel Yidel, ben Meir Herschel u'Miriam Chana. May his name be a source of joy to him and inspire him to serve our people and all humankind. May he always have this kind of energy, and may his parents rejoice in his growth of body and soul as they have brought him into the covenant. So may they, with wisdom and patience, lead him to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds, and to a marriage worthy of God's blessing. And let us all say, Amen. So Ari, you have two very special names. You were named Ari for your great-grandmother, Arlene, who 70 years ago got married on this very bima to your great-grandfather, Leo. And she was fiery and funny. She always left a lasting impression on everyone. But most of all, she was the center of the family. Family meant so much to her, which is really in a lot of ways just like your great-grandfather Gerald, for whom you are also named. He thought that family was the most important. He was hardworking, always making sure to take care of his family. And not only that, he was somebody who loved the simple pleasures. And what was the best simple pleasure? Just being with family. And you know what I can see, Ari, already? Family is very important to you. And you will always, God willing, be surrounded by family. You will live up to your name, Ari, which means lion. May you be able to have always in your life opportunities to be able to celebrate with great, great energy and fire. May you always remember the simple pleasures of just running around a sanctuary. And may you always feel yourself embraced by your family and by this community. And I'll invite our clergy to join us. And I see that we have two very special talitot. Can we wrap you in them? Yes. Oh my gosh. Now, Ari, we hope that there's going to be more times to be able to be on this bima with you, when maybe you'll be wearing these talitot. And so as you become bar mitzvah here on this bima, or wherever you are, you'll know that you were named in these beautiful talitot that mean so much to your family and now means so much to ours. I invite everyone who's joining us from home to put your hands up like this as you share this blessing. And I invite all of us who are here to put your hands, and for all of us to be vessels of this threefold benediction.
Said it.
May God continue to bless you and protect you.
May God's light shine brightly down on you, and may God be gracious to you.
May you always feel lifted by an embracing presence, and may that bring you peace. And to that we all say, Amen. Mazel tov! Simin tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, simin tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, simin tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, simin tavu. Oh my gosh, so special. Thank you so much. Yes, please. So we turn now to page 138 as we welcome in the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi. Tonight we'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And we invite you to sing and clap along. And when we get to that 9th and final verse, we turn to the entrances of our sanctuary and our homes to welcome in the Sabbath bride with Shabbat peace.
חמור וזכור בציבור אחד. השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לי לך אדוני,
La 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 לקראת קלה, la 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשה בתפילה.
La 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 לך דודי, יא la la לקראת קלה, la 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעומד קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך
La 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 לך דודי, la 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 לקראת קלה, יא la la פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise and face the entrances.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה,
La 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 לך דודי, la 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 לקראת קלה, la 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
How wonderful now to welcome all the children who are here, our fifth graders. And usually we say anyone who is under the age of 13, but in this case, we're going to say anyone who's under the age of 21. You count tonight. Will you please come to the bima? That's the way I rope in the pendos. So we'll invite, I did also promise that if Zoe's still here, or Chloe's still here, she's invited up. Of course, our cutie who is named Ari is invited up. I see a really special Robinson back there, but no, it's not gonna. We've got a couple of Osrui kids here. I think that they could together come up, and I bet that would make us all excited and only a little mad at me. We're on page 146 for Baruch Hu. Amazing to see you. Chloe, this is the second time. If you want to come on up, you're welcome.
la la la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. La 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 la
And we turn to page 152.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Hear, O Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Hear, O Israel, hear, O Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Hear, O Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו תותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Soren.
I especially love the age distribution from Soren all the way down. How incredible to have so many of our friends here. Here in our Mishpacha Shabbat, we take time for a story. I want to tell you a story about two Jonathans. You see, I could take this off now that I'm the only one up here. You see, there was Jonathan Goldstein and Jonathan Goldberg. We may know a Jonathan Goldstein or a Jonathan Goldberg, but it's not them, I promise. You see, they grew up in Hebrew school together. They went to camp together. They went to youth group together. They had the best time ever. And both of them lived a little far out in the country. And they eventually had families, and their families also grew up together. They went to Hebrew school together. They went to camp together. They went to youth group together. And their families had even more families. These families, though, they lived really close together, but they were separated by a little creek that separated the Goldstein house from the Goldberg house. And all the Goldsteins lived on this side of the creek, and the Goldbergs lived on this side of the creek. And these families spent so much time together. They were the closest of families. Every Shabbat, Mr. Goldberg would go over to Mr. Goldstein's and they'd have tea together. Or Mr. Goldstein would go over to Mr. Goldberg's and they would have tea together. This tea became such an important part of their relationship that they extended it to others. Whenever guests would come, they would always be greeted with warm tea. Well, these families were as close as could be until there was a little bit of a spat. And you see, we don't know exactly which side started it, but this is what happens sometimes. A little issue arises, and then another side gets a little upset. The other side feels, oh, I don't like how they're treating me, and this side gets a little even more upset. And they start to build on each other. We don't even really know the details. The details aren't so important right now. But really, we know that they grew and grew and grew more and more apart to a place where they weren't even saying hello to each other. Sitting right across the creek from one another, they wouldn't even say hello on Shabbat. Well, Mr. Goldstein over on this side of the creek was finally so fed up with the Goldbergs on that side of the creek that he decided, I'm gonna build a wall so I don't even have to see them over there. So I think I'm on the Goldberg side, yes, Mr. Goldberg on this side says, I'm gonna build a wall. He hires the best contractor around, and she comes over, and Mr. Goldberg tells her, this is what I want you to do. I want you to build a giant wall so that I can't see the Goldsteins over there. Mr. Goldberg says, but what I'm gonna do, I have to leave town. Our whole family's going on vacation. We'll be back next Shabbat. And I'm so excited to see that big wall instead of the Goldsteins over there. Well, hearing this, the contractor, she thinks to herself, okay, all right. A week goes by and Mr. Goldberg comes back from their vacation and they looks and there isn't a wall there, but rather the contractor, she has built the most beautiful, ornate, stunning bridge across that creek. And Mr. Goldberg is so upset, he's ready to be yelling at the contractor when he sees Mr. Goldstein coming across the bridge with some tea. And he stops and goes and meets Mr. Goldstein on the bridge. They're standing over that creek. Mr. Goldstein says, you know, I had no idea what you hired that contractor for. I was so upset that you were building something, but then I thought, maybe he's building a wall. And I secretly was a little excited to not have to see the Goldbergs across the creek there. But then when I realized that you hired her to build a bridge, I was so happy. I was so happy and thankful that you were the one who decided to bury the hatchet. I was so excited that you were the one to say, let's restart. Let's build a bridge and restart the incredible relationship that our family had. Without even having a thing to say, Mr. Goldberg said, yeah, that is what I planned all along. And they shared tea right there on that bridge. Shabbat Shalom. Thinking of bridges, as we turn back in our prayer books to page 158, we sing the song that bridged for our people, the bridge from slavery to freedom.
Nora, Tehilot, Osei, Ele, Nora, Tehilot,
Osei Kalema Putecha Ra'u Banecha
Ze'eli, Anu,
Ve'ameru
Adonai, Yimloch,
Leolam
Leolam,
Va'ed. On the next page are words of peace and safety. Page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeitzeinu, uvoenu, lechaim u'shalom, le'ata v'Adonai.
Hashivenu
Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim.
We read in our Passover Haggadah that there is a Pharaoh of every time, of every age, who comes after us, and that we continue that march to freedom. As we enter the Amidah, recalling our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, we recall all the generations that came between, all of those pharaohs who came after us in different ages, and all the ways that our community has become stronger in the process. Page 164, we rise for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tisha u'pi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Tekonei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו יהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
On page 175, let us pray this prayer in English in the middle of the page to help us move into our silent prayer together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inwards for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel, all who seek you, may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha lebadcha b'yira na'avod. We take a moment of silent prayer, each of us in our own way. And when you feel ready, you may be seated.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו
As we may hear news reports or really just hope that we have crested the curve of Omicron, we hope that the downward line leads us to more healing, more moments of better mental health, more moments of better physical health, more moments of togetherness, moments when we can visit our loved ones more freely when they are feeling ill, moments when we can go visit friends across a bridge to say, hey, hello. We take the thoughts of those who are still at the top of their hill in the moments of pain, whether that pain be mental, physical, spiritual pain. And we ask God for their healing with our prayer of Mishaberach. If there are those here in our space who would like to share a name aloud of those who you're thinking about for healing, I invite you to share a name out loud.
And from our community at home, Adrian Rosenberg, Susan Levine, Marty Gersman, Tammy Mormino, Louise Venegas, Martha Lessman Katz, Hank Lerner, Spence Marks, Jan Albers, Carl Youngdahl, Debbie Willage, Lori Dietz, Jeanette Ponder, Johnny Reicherzer, Rick Feldman, Nina Silverstein, Siggy Frankel, Jim Clemens, Barbara and David Sussman, Pam Zolnay, Kelly, the Kelly family, Sophia and Joel Finkel, Anna Kaplan, Teresa Dansinger, Norma Cotton Taylor, Bryn House, Phil Dunn, Sarah Golub, Louise Chapman, Cookie Marks, Thomas Fidels, Mary Spriggs, Tom Spriggs, Anthony Barnes, Heidi Hobbs, Max Cohn, Leanne Edwards, Gordon Campbell, Joan Stockhoff, Marcella Wilson and family, Cindy Weinzerl, Daniel Weinzerl, Sandy Neville, Jody Tittner, Barbara Durst, Maxine Durst, Eric Levin, Sharon Tarnoff, Ira Levinson, Michael Bade, Miriam Ament Foreman, Juju Lean, Bart Barish, Candy Roller, and Larry Kamler, Hilda Weissenberg, Sonia Lewis, Susan White Smith, Myrna Frankel and Rick Drucker, Greg Sessler, Pam Zolnay, Rick Feldman, Barbara and David Sussman, Nina Silverstein, Jim Clemens and Don Sable, Allison Musser, Jonathan Spitz, Elaine Baddock, Barry Ferris and Javier Escalante, Shirley Goldman Herzog, Heidi Hobbs, Flo Bernberg, Jacob Lamp, Miyoki Camo, Matthew Lamp, the Mula Sabani family, Mary Butts, Natasha Stoller, Carol Cook, Sarah Blaners Bubby, Jillian Wolf, and Michael Damon, Tom Dahig and Tom Boretsky, Linda Boretsky, Lee Schlesinger, Angela and her family, and Bob Beecher, Helene Vicker, Debbie Miller, Harold and Charlene Cohn, Leanne Edwards, and Jillian Abrahams.
The words of Misha Berach are on page 371.
Mishaberach Avoteinu V'kor habracha
Imotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to
Make our lives a blessing, and let us say,
Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Well, I'll say that that when we look at Yitro, the Torah portion of this week, and we have these moments. Oh, you know what? And I actually, why don't you come back to your little? I mean, this is your beautiful. Yeah. And also, I've heard that my voice isn't picked up very well out there. And so on those microphones. So I'm going to try these and see if it's any better. So Yitro is this week's Torah portion. And as I said, we have the beginning of it that is its most famous, which is this notion of getting the 10 Commandments very soon into the Torah portion. After Jethro meets Moses, again, they reunite. Jethro then lets Moses know that what does he need to do in order to be a leader? Well, he needs to make sure that there are good people around him, to make sure that they would always be able to have each other's back with wisdom. What was the criteria? They had to be wise and they had to be good. And I'll tell you, in this community of leaders, it's wonderful that we surround ourselves with so many people who are good and who are wise. And then we get to the point of being at Mount Sinai and Moses being up on the top of Sinai and receiving these Eser Dibrot, these words, these 10 words, or we translate it as commandments. And what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to guide us. They're saying that kind of unspoken wisdom that we think we all know, but sometimes we just need to hear. And I love that people then respond, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will hear. And so tonight we're going to share the things that we are doing so that we can better hear and understand not only the words of the divine, but what's needed within our community. We've heard from many, many people who have asked, are we doing trainings? Are we going to be doing some of those security trainings? And I'll tell you that some of our staff and certainly our clergy have been trained internally wonderfully by our security. And we're going to also this next week have a more formal training with what's called the Secure Community Network, which is really a training for Jewish communities by the Jewish community. And we're looking forward to that in partnership with so much of what ADL also does. And then I'll also say that we're going to be opening up trainings that we'll be letting you know about in the future for all of us to be trained about how we can keep ourselves safe so that way we don't have to give a second, well, we might give a little bit of a thought. We'll be vigilant, but we'll also know that we have what is within us to be able to both protect and knowing that there are going to be others, the way that Mr. Rogers talked about the people who rush in to help, that there are so many people in our larger community here willing to help us. And I'll say there's no greater showing of that than our wonderful security staff, our security team who's here with us tonight, as well as so many friends across so many faiths who've reached out in these days since last Shabbat. So with that, then we want to say some of the other things that are going on in this community. Oh my gosh, is that what you were inviting me to do when I was here? Well, before we do that, why don't we do a thank you, a big thank you to our 5th grade, and also to those amazing 5th grade teachers. And Jay, will you do us the honor to thank them very formally on behalf of all of us?
Absolutely, I would love to. We have wonderful teachers in our 5th grade in our whole school, but thinking of our 5th grade right now, some names that I imagine a lot of people know. They've been with Temple Sholom for a while. Arella Engel, Eris Solomon, Sarah Kamenetsky, and Brian Lightman. And then we also have a few newer ones as a part of our teaching community, Rabbi Daniel Atwood and Andrea Kowalski. And we're really grateful for all of these wonderful people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I understand a little birdie and very wise rabbi let me know that we have birthday blessings. So I'm going to turn the bima back to Rabbi Gelman for him to be able to bless all those who have birthdays in the month of January.
Yes, so if you have a birthday in January, I'll invite you to come and we'll space out a little bit up here. And if you're joining us on Zoom, I'll invite you to use the raise hand feature, and Rachel, who's our Zoom tech tonight, will spotlight you. Oh my goodness. Poor Noah. You're the only not January Pendo. Incredible. Oh my God, so many Januaries. This is so exciting. Hi, Luke.
Hello.
All right. What January is your birthday on?
The 17th.
28th, the 15th.
14th. Yesterday.
Yesterday. Happy birthday, Alex.
Today.
Today. Yay. I'm going to get to really celebrate tomorrow. I'm so excited.
26th. 18.
18. Oh my goodness. You were.
The 11th.
Oh, that's true. We did get to celebrate you. And so we celebrate all of you and all of those who are joining us on Zoom, who have birthdays in the month of January, with a special blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
May you continue to go from strength to strength, from birthday to birthday, to celebration. And may that all lead you and those around you to peace. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's insane.
And I'll tell you that I think we might hear the wonderful voice of Rabbi Rena Singer, who's joining us from home tonight. And she is going to be part of our announcements because we want to be able to know what are we going to do so we can better understand.
Oh, hi, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Sunday, January 23rd at 8 a.m. We are so incredibly excited to announce that the Sholom Justice blood drives are back. And there's still a critical need for blood donations, and every contribution helps. So if you are able to give blood, you can do so at Temple Sholom's Social Hall, Betty Port Hall, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I know it's going to be very spaced out with all of the COVID protocols in place. So thank you.
And I'll just say, I went to register today and it was all booked up, but I did hear that if we come in person, we might be able to still get fit in. So if you're willing to wait a little bit, we might wait together. It's all the way from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. What better thing to do than to be able to hang out, schmooze, and then give blood? Do we have some more?
Yeah. On Sunday as well, while you're waiting and schmoozing, you could also take part in our adult ed class. Our special this Sunday is Why? Explaining the Holocaust with Peter Hayes. He wrote a recent book with that title, and he answers 8 of the most frequently asked questions about this horrendous event. And Cantor, are you also teaching? Are you in the midst of your series
You know that
still?
I am. prayer and liturgy. We are doing it at 11 o'clock on Zoom on Sunday, and it's also my son's birthday. So
Ooh.
Wow.
It's a good
You know,
thing.
and if you want a double header of learning with the cantor, you could also join her
Oh,
on Monday.
that's right.
True.
At 6:45, she's going to be leading us, teaching us a taste of Judaism.
Well, I think I'm teaching intro to Judaism, right?
Oh.
And then, I'm doing taste of, well, I teach them both.
And she's been
so
preparing
I
for
feel like
months,
both.
everyone.
So I'm doing taste of Judaism. So I'm probably starting with God. We like to start with God. And then good luck with the intro.
I'll also add that next Friday, we are taking part in the National Council of Jewish Women's Reproductive Justice Shabbat. So synagogues across the country and across Chicago are going to be talking about Judaism and reproductive justice. So come back next week.
And we want to say again to the Pendo and the Schwartz families, and by the way, Marta, if I would have been better, I would have asked you how to pronounce your last name so I wouldn't get it wrong. Will you just shout to me as I might say it incorrectly? And Sophia, you can always be the shouter if you prefer. So we also want to say to the Kodonor Marco family, Mazel Tov. We are so looking forward to tomorrow. Kimberly, I want to say that your leadership on our board has meant so much. You continue to help us in such beautiful ways. And Schwartz and Kodonor Marco family, we love you. And we're so glad that now that you're back from Spain, you spent a little time there, but wow, we're so happy that you're back here. It feels like you're back home with us and we love it. So we can hardly wait to celebrate with you tomorrow. Mazel Tov. And now we'll turn to the bottom of page 586 for the words of Aleinu.
Aleinu
As
leshabeach
we rise.
ladon hakol,
Tekula leotze bereshit, shelo asanu piyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Hayom hahu yeh Adonai echad. U'shmo echad. You may be seated, for our thoughts are to turn to those who have departed this earth, our loved ones, our friends and neighbors who we have lost. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and life. This Shabbat, our Temple Sholom family is thinking about those who passed away in those last 30 days, which is known as Shloshim, Sylvia Stern, Jeffrey Shannon, and Susan Feldstein. And those whose yard sites are observed in this week now ending: Lois Brill Aronson, Carol Benach, Gertrude Bentley, Gerald Bernstein, Ben Block, Sue Bowen, Gerald Brisman, John Kernick, Dr. Richard Evans, Colonel Henry Fantis, David Fogel, Milton Forgash, Claire Forgash-Liss, Edward Frazier, Norman Godfrey, Albert Goldstein, Riva L. Gordon, Robert Healy, Stella Hyman Borzak, Ruth Howard, Lexi Kammerman, John J. Kolar, Patricia Kurjan, Sarah Linker, Jeanette Mann, Christine McDermott, Jenny Pepper, Jacob Pinkovich, Miriam Eyring Pallier, Alan Schwartzbert, Milton Siegel, Stephen Seiner, Ruth Cookie Starr, Ruth Steinberg, Jesse Steinman, Frank Watchman, Adele Wallach, Marsha Weinstein, Sharon Weiss, and Lenore Wexler. And for those in our Temple Sholom physical presence, if there are those who you'd like to add to our list of memory, I invite you to do so. And we add to our list of memory those from our friends and family joining on our Temple Sholom family on Zoom: Sherry Kamiko Goodman, Julie Lessman, Ruth Oppler, Sarah Hamilton, Juliana Schaefer, Lige Fletter, Helen Schneider, Michael Cooper, James Gendon, Claire Edelstein, Ruth Oppler, Susan Feldstein, Ticht Nat Han, Ronnie Spector, Terry Teachout, Stephen Joshua Sondheim, Howard Vihan, Sandra Goinshore, and Marcia Weinstein. And for all those, we honor their memory by reciting Kaddish Yatom on page 598 as we rise.
Yitkaral v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma
Divrach
divrach
Yute
yute
v'yamlich
v'yamlich
malchute.
malchute.
V'chayechon
V'chayechon
v'yimachon.
v'yimachon
V'chayeh
v'chayeh
b'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala b'zman kariv v'imru. Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah miborach le'olam u'lamei almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'kudusha baruchu. Elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Yamiran be'alma v'imru. Yeshlam Rabba min Shemaya. Chaim aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Amen.
Useh shalom v'romav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Amen.
Useh shalom v'romav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Amen.
We may be seated. We're gonna,
Well, we are going to have Jay do closing song, and normally I would have you announce it, but my enthusiasm is
please.
too intense right now. It's such a joy to be on your team, to be your cantor, and to have you be our director of lifelong learning. You guys already know how much I love you, Hannah and Ethan, I hope. But it's a joy when we have Shabbat Mishpacha and I can have you playing with us. And tonight, in Ming Q Shin's absence, you stepped up your game even more, and it's a joy. So, Jay, will you take us away with one of your wonderful songs that we can close with?
This is an easy song to sing along. You just repeat after me. It's about Hine Matov. It's so nice to be together. So nice to see you all here and there. We are together. It's so nice to be together. 'Cause when we are together, it's so good. Sing it with me. We are together. It's so nice to be together. 'Cause when we are together, it's so good. Hine matov umanayim. Shavarachim, shavarachim gam yachad. Try with us. Hine matov umanayim. Shavarachim, shavarachim gam yachad. Hine matov. Hine matov. I clap my hands. I move my soul. I clap my hands. I move my soul. We are together. It's so nice to be together. 'Cause when we are together, it's so good. We are together. It's so nice to be together. 'Cause when we are together, it's so good.
May we continue to come together. May we continue to build bridges. May we continue to offer tea and be welcoming to strangers. And may we have a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.